Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac is the queen of rock, or so the fans say, and seeing as she's the only two-time female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they do have a point. Nicks has been an extraordinary performer ever since she revitalized Fleetwood Mac in the mid-70s, and her ongoing contributions to the band and her solo career have solidified her legacy and elevated her status. Fortunately for music fans, Nicks likes to share her wisdom these days and always makes for a good interview. How does Stevie see the world and her place in it? Today we're going to take a look at some rare and vintage photos of Stevie Nicks for some entertaining pearls of wisdom from the gold dust woman herself. Stevie Nicks always had star quality. Stevie Nicks's extraordinary musical talents appear to be deeply rooted in her family history. Her paternal grandfather, Aaron Jess Nicks, was an aspiring country singer who recognized Stevie's potential from a young age. In a revealing interview with Vogue, Stevie shared how her grandfather introduced her to the enchanting melodies of music legends like Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers. However, Aaron's influence went beyond mere introductions. He also took on the role of a mentor, teaching Stevie how to play the guitar and sing country melodies. Stevie's journey into the world of performance began when she was just 4 years old. Dressed as a young cowgirl, she made her initial foray into entertaining audiences by joining her grandfather on stage. Together, they would delight crowds with beloved country duets such as Darling Clementine at various local bars. This early experience ignited Stevie's passion for performing, but her love for entertaining would soon take on new dimensions. During her 6th grade years, Stevie stumbled upon another form of performance art, tap dancing. It was during a school talent show that her tap dance routine received thunderous applause from the audience. This enthusiastic response left a profound impact on her, leading her to realize her true calling in life, to bring joy and entertainment to people through her talents. Around the same time, Stevie's musical tastes began to evolve, shifting from country to a blend of R&B and rock and roll. However, the influence of country music remained a constant in her life. In an interview, she candidly admitted that she sometimes had to consciously resist the urge to sing in a country style, a tendency she attributed to her beloved grandfather's enduring influence. As she explained, her musical roots were firmly intertwined with the world of country music, serving as a testament to the lasting impact of her grandfather's guidance and inspiration. Stevie Nicks's high school yearbook photo reveals the unmistakable presence of a future superstar, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Following her graduation in 1966, Stevie embarked on a journey of self-exploration, letting her hair down both figuratively and literally. A chance encounter at youth group. Stevie Nicks's formative years were characterized by a series of abrupt relocations driven by her father's business ventures. Born under the sun-soaked skies of Arizona, she experienced homes in New Mexico, Texas, and Utah before finally establishing roots in California during her adolescent years. It was in the Golden State that Stevie's life took a pivotal turn as she crossed paths with Lindsay Buckingham, a multifaceted figure who would go on to play various roles in her life. These roles ranged from being her initial whirlwind romance to becoming her creative confidant, and at times, even her antagonist. In the year 1966, fate orchestrated their first meeting at a gathering of a faith-based youth community known as Young Life. For Stevie, this gathering represented an opportunity to escape the routine of her home life midweek. As a high school senior, she already harbored dreams of becoming a songwriter, a passion she would later discuss in an interview with The Guardian. It was during this gathering that Buckingham, a year her junior, managed to capture her heart with a musical interlude. Strumming the chords of California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas, he left an indelible mark on her. Despite being instantly charmed by Buckingham, their initial encounter would remain their only one for the next 2 years. It wasn't until Stevie had completed her studies at San Jose State College that Lindsay Buckingham reappeared in her life. This time, He extended an invitation for her to join a San Francisco-based folk ensemble named Fritz. In their local music scene, Fritz achieved remarkable success, often opening for legendary artists such as Jimi Hendrix, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Santana, and, notably for Stevie, her personal musical idols Janis Joplin and Grace Slick of Jefferson Airplane. However, by the year 1971, the curtains closed on Fritz as they disbanded. This transformative period marked a significant shift in the relationship between Stevie Nicks and Lindsay Buckingham. They transitioned from being bandmates to becoming lovers, forging their unique creative harmony under the banner of Buckingham Nicks. I want to be a star, I don't want to be a cleaning lady. During the early 70s, Stevie Nicks and her boyfriend and songwriting partner Lindsay Buckingham were still relatively unknown in the pop music world. They had released just one album, Buckingham Nicks. But despite their talent, commercial success remained elusive, and they found themselves dropped by their record label. To add to their challenges, Buckingham was hit hard by a severe case of mononucleosis, leaving Stevie as the sole breadwinner during this trying period. To make ends meet, Stevie took on various jobs to support herself and Lindsay. She waited tables and cleaned houses to cover their expenses, a situation that might have influenced a memorable spoken quip heard on an early demo of her song, Sarah. In this recording, she can be heard saying, "I want to be a star. I don't want to be a cleaning lady." This candid snapshot of her life was taken circa 1974, capturing a moment when Stevie was determined to pursue her dream of stardom despite the temporary setbacks she and Lindsay were facing. Fleetwood Mac initially didn't want her. The first meeting between Fleetwood Mac and Lindsay Buckingham, who was then dating Stevie Nicks, didn't initially include a role for Stevie herself, the other half of the Buckingham-Nicks duo. When they all gathered for that crucial rendezvous, Stevie made quite an entrance, dressed in her distinctive flapper girl waitress attire, which caused quite a stir among the band members. However, Buckingham was unwavering in his stance. It was a package deal or nothing. He made it crystal clear that he wouldn't become part of the band unless they welcomed his unconventional partner Stevie into the fold as well. Despite any initial reservations, the allure of Buckingham's exceptional guitar skills proved to be too enticing to resist. Thankfully, they reached a consensus, and Stevie Nicks became an integral part of Fleetwood Mac, recording Rhiannon. Stevie Nicks became an official member of Fleetwood Mac on New Year's Eve in 1974. With her arrival, the band's lineup underwent a significant transformation that would forever alter their sound and trajectory. One of Stevie's earliest contributions to the newly updated Fleetwood Mac was the hauntingly beautiful song Rhiannon. This song, with its mystical and ethereal qualities, showcased Stevie's unique songwriting talent. She often described Rhiannon as being inspired by an old Welsh witch. What made Rhiannon even more captivating was its live performances during those early days with Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks poured her heart and soul into every rendition of the song, creating a mesmerizing experience for the audience. During these live shows, Rhiannon featured an extended musical crescendo, with Stevie's vocalizations and passionate movements drawing comparisons to what bandmate Mick Fleetwood once described as an exorcism. This studio photo, captured in 1975, captures a moment in time when Stevie Nicks was fully immersed in her role as the bewitching frontwoman of Fleetwood Mac. It was during this period that she helped shape the band's signature sound and contributed to their rise to superstardom. Rumors was a massive hit. In 1977, Fleetwood Mac released the iconic album Rumors, which featured some of Stevie Nicks' most memorable compositions. This album included hit songs like Dreams, The Chain, and Gold Dust Woman, all of which contributed significantly to the band's success. The subsequent tour undertaken to promote the album solidified Fleetwood Mac's reputation for delivering electrifying live performances and captivating audiences worldwide. However, it was also a time marked by non-stop backstage excess and rock and roll lifestyle. The immense success of Rumors and the accompanying tour had a profound impact on Stevie Nicks' life. She used her newfound financial stability to acquire two large homes, one in Phoenix, Arizona, and another perched above Sunset Boulevard, aptly named Fantasyland. Christine and Stevie on a tour bus. As the primary female vocalists in Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks and her bandmate, Christine McVie, had a unique and close-knit relationship. At the time Nicks joined the band, McVie was already a seasoned member, having recorded and toured with Fleetwood Mac for over half a decade. Nicks affectionately referred to McVie as Mother Earth, a nickname that reflected McVie's role as a mentor and a stabilizing influence for the famously eccentric Nicks. While McVie provided guidance and support, it's worth noting that she had her own moments of fun and mischief. As she once recalled, "I once threw a cake out the window which landed on top of a taxi." Here, we see them together on a tour bus in 1976, showcasing their camaraderie during their time on the road with Fleetwood Mac. Stand back. In 1983, Stevie Nicks released her solo album, The Wild Heart, a year marked by significant personal highs and lows for the talented songwriter. Tragically, she lost her best friend, Robin Anderson, to cancer during this time. In a heartfelt and unusual turn of events, Nicks married Anderson's widower, with the hope of helping raise their new son. One of the standout tracks on the album is Stand Back, a song with an intriguing backstory. Nicks originally conceived it while in a car on her wedding day, where she found herself singing along to Little Red Corvette by Prince. Struck by inspiration, she later reached out to Prince to share her creative spark. To her surprise, Prince promptly arrived at the studio and contributed the iconic synthesizer parts to the song. Although not officially credited in the album's liner notes, Prince and Nicks agreed to split the royalties for the song evenly, cementing their collaborative efforts on this memorable track. Magical Energy. Stevie Nicks is renowned for her expressive stage dancing, but her love for dancing doesn't stop when she leaves the spotlight. In fact, during the recording sessions for her initial album with Fleetwood Mac, her passion for dance was on full display. She would dance tirelessly, seemingly entranced by the music, even while the other band members were engaged in the more tedious tasks of recording overdubs and studio work. As Ken Kylat, the recording engineer, recollected, she had this unwavering belief in her own magical powers. It's as if she thought her dancing was conjuring up the perfect mix for our songs. Backstage photography. Dealing with self-diagnosed insomnia, Stevie Nicks found a creative way to spend her late-night hours. She delved into the world of photography. An early enthusiast of self-portraits, she cultivated her distinctive style by capturing intimate moments behind the scenes and in hotel rooms while on tour. Her chosen tool was the Polaroid camera, equipped with a wired remote control. Over time, Nicks decided to share many of her previously unseen self-portraits through an art exhibition called 24 Karat Gold. This exhibition was curated by her fellow musician Dave Stewart, known for his role in the 80s pop sensation, the Eurythmics. Here's a glimpse of her backstage at a concert in Los Angeles in 1985. She has a shawl vault for all her stage costumes. Stevie Nicks is renowned for her distinctive style, which frequently features one of her custom-designed shawls. When performing live, she has a penchant for switching shawls depending on the song being played. For songs like Rhiannon, Gold Dust Woman, and Edge of 17, each has its corresponding shawl. In fact, Nicks goes to the extent of maintaining a sizable temperature-controlled shawl vault to preserve these wraps when she's not touring. The tambourine is an accessory. On stage, Stevie is a familiar sight with her tambourine, but it serves more as a fashion accessory than a musical instrument, often being muted with gaffer tape. With its ribbons and gypsy-inspired style, it seamlessly complements her look and provides her with an activity during extended instrumental performances. During Fleetwood Mac's performance at President Bill Clinton's 1993 inauguration ball, she handed her tambourine to the president. However, he appeared perplexed when he couldn't produce any sound from it. Sweet success. Following the immense success of the Rumors album, Fleetwood Mac's record label, Warner Bros. Was eager to have the band return to the studio to produce more hit records. The outcome of this endeavor was the double album known as Tusk. The recording sessions for Tusk are renowned for their remarkable musical experimentation and, at times, excessive drug use. Upon its release, Tusk was estimated to be the most expensive rock and roll record ever produced. Despite receiving critical acclaim and selling over 4 million copies, it was viewed as a disappointment by Warner Bros., primarily in comparison to its predecessor. Being in Fleetwood Mac kept her ego in check. In 1997, Stevie Nicks had a conversation with Spin about her career. She candidly shared her thoughts, saying, "I think if I had focused solely on my solo career and had the freedom to just be myself, I probably would have become more ego-driven than I actually was." She went on to explain, "Being part of a 5-member group really helps to keep your ego in check. It's not as simple to become completely conceited when you're a member of a band." This group photograph was taken in 1975. Sarah, You're the Poet in My Heart. Sarah, a track from the 1979 album Tusk, holds a special place in Stevie Nicks' heart, and she has often referred to it as her favorite song. Interestingly, the original version of Sarah was a whopping 16 minutes long, but for the constraints of an LP, many of the original verses had to be edited out. Over the years, there has been much speculation about the song's meaning, and Stevie Nicks has seemingly confirmed various interpretations. The lyrics of Sarah weave together different facets of her life, touching upon her relationship with Mick Fleetwood, Mick's future wife Sarah Wrecker, and even Nick's unborn child with Don Henley of the Eagles. As Stevie once expressed, "If I ever have a little girl, I will name her Sarah." Stevie is a mystic. Stevie Nicks' deep spiritual connection shines through her music and lyrics, and her unwavering belief in mysticism and the enchantment of magic has been a part of her life for as long as she can recall. This fascination can be traced back to her mother's fondness for fairy tales, which undoubtedly played a role in nurturing Stevie's mystical interests. In addition to her passion for magic, Stevie Nicks also holds a belief in the concept of past lives. She entertains the idea that in one of her previous existences, she may have experienced something as intense as a beheading. Reflecting on her spiritual outlook, Stevie once remarked, "I wholeheartedly believe in magic. My life, I believe, has been filled with magic, and I've seen countless magical things come true time and time again." Stevie's controversial marriage. Over the course of her illustrious career, Stevie Nicks has had various romantic involvements, but she ventured down the aisle only once, a choice she later regarded as a significant misjudgment. Following the devastating loss of her dearest friend, Robin, to leukemia, just 2 days after giving birth, Stevie found herself inexplicably drawn to Robin's grieving widower, Kim Anderson. In the midst of their profound grief, Stevie and Kim made the unexpected decision to marry, believing it was the most compassionate way to support the newly widowed husband in raising his newborn child. However, this union ultimately proved to be unsustainable, and the couple decided to part ways in less than a year. She threatened to quit. While Stevie Nicks eventually became the shining star of Fleetwood Mac, the circumstances of her initial inclusion in the band, thanks to her boyfriend's insistence, cast a lingering shadow over her career. This persistent doubt often made her contemplate the idea of parting ways with the group. Tensions escalated when her song Silver Springs was omitted from the iconic Rumors album. The threats of her departure became more tangible when the band denied her the rights to use the song on a solo album. In an unrelated but equally charged incident, she even told Mick Fleetwood that she would leave the band if he insisted on naming their 1979 album Tusk, a term he humorously used to refer to his manhood. The world at her fingertips. In June of 1983, Stevie Nicks unveiled her second solo album, The Wild Heart. This musical endeavor achieved double platinum status, boasted 3 hit singles, and secured the 5th position on the Billboard Albums chart, a recurring feat for Nicks's albums and songs. What makes this accomplishment even more remarkable is that Nicks managed to complete the album in just a matter of months, despite having recently wrapped up the Mirage Tour with Fleetwood Mac. Driven by personal experiences and the need for artistic expression, she channeled her creativity into this project. Notably, The Wild Heart went on to sell over 2 million copies in the United States alone, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. On October 10, 1979, Fleetwood Mac received a well-deserved honor when they were awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. At that time, Stevie Nicks and the rest of the band had already achieved worldwide fame, with an impressive catalog of over 10 studio albums and numerous successful tours. It appeared that they were committed to a long-lasting career in the music industry. However, it came as a pleasant surprise when, less than a year later in 1980, Stevie Nicks released her debut solo album titled Belladonna. This solo venture garnered critical acclaim and further solidified Nicks's status as a musical powerhouse. The album featured 4 hit singles on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and Rolling Stone magazine even bestowed upon her the title of the reigning queen of rock and roll. The year she met Bob Dylan and Tom Petty. Following her solo success, Nicks continued to work on 3 more studio albums by 1985. However, she encountered a bit of a challenge with the third one. Initially named Mirror Mirror, she wasn't completely satisfied with the album's outcome in 1984, leading her to undergo a complete revamp before its release. The end result was the 1985 album titled Rock a Little. This particular record not only showcased her musical prowess, but also brought her on the road alongside legendary artists like Bob Dylan and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This photo captures a moment from 1986, during that exciting period. Deep-rooted friendship. In this 1977 snapshot, Christine McVie and Stevie Nicks are captured performing on stage at the Omni Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia. Despite enduring some challenging times together, the two share a lifelong friendship and a unique bond that sets them apart. Stevie Nicks reflected on their connection in 2013, saying, "We felt like together, we were a force of nature. And we made a pact, probably in our first rehearsal, that we would never accept being treated as second-class citizens in the music business. That when we walked into a room, we would be so fantastic, strong and smart, that none of the uber rockstar group of men would look through us. And they never did. She's always coped with stage fright." In 2019, Stevie posted this intimate selfie on her Instagram page. With less than a week left until her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she candidly admitted to feeling nervous. Throughout her career, she had grappled with stage fright, but she had learned to transform those jitters into excitement. This induction marked a historic moment, as it made Stevie Nicks the first woman ever to be inducted into the hall for her contributions, both as a member of a group and for her solo career. Stevie and Mick had a fling. The romantic chapter between Stevie Nicks and Lindsay Buckingham came to a close during the creation of Fleetwood Mac's second album, Rumors, in 1976. In a candid interview with the Oprah Winfrey Network, Nicks revealed that a significant dispute had been the catalyst for their breakup. Despite the end of their romantic relationship, both Nicks and Buckingham remained essential members of the band. However, promotional efforts for the album brought unexpected emotional undercurrents to the surface. During a photo session for the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, the band members found themselves entwined on a bed. Buckingham was paired with Christine McVie, who was going through a divorce from bassist John McVie, depicted alone in the image. Nicks was paired with drummer Mick Fleetwood, who was navigating his own divorce. This staged pose ignited a brief resurgence of feelings between Nicks and Buckingham and also kindled a new attraction between Nicks and Fleetwood. This chemistry eventually evolved into a romantic entanglement a year later. At that time, Fleetwood Mac was on tour, and Nicks was in a romantic relationship with Don Henley from the Eagles, though their relationship was constrained by their infrequent meetings. In hindsight, Nicks attributed her unexpected liaison with Fleetwood to their extensive substance abuse, describing their union as the result of being the last two people at the party. She acknowledged it as a fleeting, pain-filled affair that ultimately led nowhere. Fleetwood, however, held a somewhat more optimistic perspective. In an interview with a news outlet, he recalled that period as a moment when he and Stevie were genuinely in love, although their love could never fully blossom in the open. Opening up about not having children. Throughout her career, Stevie Nicks has frequently been questioned about her romantic involvement and her stance on starting a family. In a 2002 interview with InStyle, she candidly discussed her choice not to have children and the implications it had for her life. Nicks remarked, "Do you aspire to be an artist and a writer, or do you desire to be a spouse and a partner? When you have children, your priorities naturally shift," she explained. "I personally have no interest in attending PTA meetings." These rare glimpses into Stevie Nicks's life offer us a more intimate perspective of the iconic rock legend. From her early years as a budding musician to her rise as the reigning queen of rock and roll, these photos capture moments of vulnerability, creativity, and resilience. Which of these photos resonated with you the most, and what aspect of Stevie Nicks's life or career would you like to explore further? Comment down below to let us know. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating content. See you next time. Bye-bye.